Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the 10th live stream or 10th call. Today we are live streaming for the 45B Cardano Design Centre project. We have a number of people to bring up on stage, but before we do that, I'm just going to mention for anyone joining us for the first time or watching this on X or on any platform, this project is a funded proposal by Catalyst, and it's going to aim to benefit Cardano projects by providing spaces and calls like this one to discuss and network, a resources portal that we're going to be going over today in today's call as well to share knowledge, and also we aim to practice a bit our skills and intervene in some projects to benefit them with different kinds of UI UX related services, let's say. So I'm going to remove this from screen and start adding some friends. So we have Simon, welcome. I'm going to add a number of people and you can just jump in and say hi as you feel. Okay.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Preston, I see Raphael is joining us. Owen is speaking French to us. I'm going to mute you, Owen. Hope that's okay. And we have Rafael as well. Welcome, Rafael. Bem-vindo.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. Yeah, running around, but very excited to have this call today and progress this project a bit further. We also have Hugo, who is a friend. He's a voice talent, I think that's how we can phrase it. And he works in events and radio and a number of different media of sorts. So great to have you here. I'm not sure if anyone else wants to introduce themselves or just open your mic and say hi.
Hi, Lucas. Hi, everyone. Sonia, joining from Nairobi, Kenya. Sorry, I won't be available via the video call because I'm on the road, but I'm actively listening in. Thank you.
Great stuff. Welcome, Preston. So we have Owen as well. Hey, Tevo, sorry, jump in.
Joining here to learn about a bit of UI and UX because, I think all my development time is now more and more spending time figuring out how button should look like or where the information should look like. And whenever I'm looking at how users are actually using the tool, I see them spending time looking for information, and especially if you're able to ask, what are you doing? I want to find a button for this. And that's, how do you communicate visually where stuff is located on the application is quite a challenge for me right now. So maybe we can learn something here.
Yep, that's what we're here for, to exchange those kinds of lamentations and needs, and to learn from each other. Because I think what I've the main learning I'm getting from this initiative is that a lot of us are developers at heart and just trying to find ways of building the front end side of things. So if we join efforts and do some knowledge exchange here, I think it's going to benefit all of us. Not sure if Nuno wants to say hi, just share a bit what project you're working on, or in what capacity or profile.
Right, yeah. Hey, I'm working on decentralized poker. Lucas and I have been talking about maybe some help with the UI UX, and I mean we have very capable developers, and I think I have enough experience with poker design from other sides, but maybe a more professional perspective would be great.
Yeah.
Also someone who's able to implement that.
Yep. That's a bridge.
Maybe if I can just add on that. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Simon, that's a nice idea. I think for me, I'm also working on decentralized poker. Right now, I'm in the process of like creating like the different designs. So maybe we can share notes on that to see how we can elevate that.
Okay, great. You're already networking in your niche. Great stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again. I'm not sure if anyone else wants to jump in. Last call for that. See Rafael.
I can jump in, I guess. Hi, everyone. Rafael here. I'm working on crypto inheritance and more than that, how to change how inheritance works in the traditional industry. That's basically it.
That's nice, short and sweet. I see the dev guru Adriano as well from Game Changer. How are you doing? Nice to have you here, mate.
Hey, Lucas. Hey, everybody. How are you guys? Yeah, great to see you in these spaces. Thank you.
Cheers.
Nice
Game
sweater.
Changers. Game Changer is probably one of the most mature apps that's still reinventing themselves and doing betas and just released V2 recently. So it's great to see you here. Okay, so I'm also seeing like today we're going to be mostly maxing out StreamYard's ability to host like 10 people on the backstage and on stage and all that. So if you have trouble or if you feel that is appropriate, you can step out of StreamYard eventually, continue watching us on X, and then come back on the session when it makes more sense for you to present your project or something like that. So as you can see there, we are streaming to X, and on your StreamYard console, for the ones on stage, you have a private chat on the right, and you have comments where we will also see whatever people are commenting on socials. So we're experimenting with this format, and in a way, we also made it a point to use this instead of just a Google Meet, so that you're all more at ease to also host StreamYard calls for your projects. So yeah, if you have any trouble joining, I'm keeping an eye on my chats on the other screen, and hopefully we will get everyone to come up and talk a bit. Yeah. So yeah, we have the person from Script 3 trying to join already. So yeah, I would ask some of you, if you don't mind doing what I just suggested, to join us after Script 3 introduces their portfolio as designers. And that way we can invite them to come up. Is that okay?
I don't even know how to step down.
You leave the studio, which is on the bottom center of your screen. You can watch on X for a bit, and then we'll keep circulating people back up. Would that be okay?
That's okay with me. I think I just follow from X.
I can leave as well if needed. Do you want me to go, Pedro?
Well, just one or two people, that would be okay. I'm sorry, I'm just managing here the platform, you know. So yeah, I see we have Kevin already, so I think we're mostly good. And we have Tevo rejoining us. Okay, so I'm going to just try to focus on Kevin and remove others from stage for a bit. If you want to come up, just let me know, and I will bring you up via the private chat, okay? And we also have someone from 45B's side, / independent designer, who is Paulo. I'm just going to remove Megan as well for now. Sorry, Megan. I'll see you in a second. And my screen is just jumping back and forth with all the participants. Hey, okay. Welcome. Kevin, you okay to talk? Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you. My apologies. I'm at a very busy coffee shop right now, but I hope my audio is okay. But glad to be here. Thanks for the invite, Lucas.
Great stuff. So I'm not sure if you thought of sharing your screen, or should I do that and showcase a bit what you guys do?
Yeah, so I can share a presentation if that's okay. I have something prepared that I'd love to walk everyone through. Just give you a bit of a sense of what we do here at Scribe and a little bit about myself as well. I can start with myself before I do share my screen, just to tell you a little bit about my background and my expertise. I'm Kevin Moran. I'm located in Toronto. I work for an agency called Scribe, where we work with a ton of crypto clients. And I'll take you through the presentation in a second. But my background, I am the lead brand designer at the agency. We work with a lot of creative folks on different departments, and I've overseen a lot of great work that we've done for a number of different clients that I'll take you through right now. So let me go ahead and share my screen.
Okay. You should see a button on the center bottom
I see it there.
of your screen.
Yeah. Just gonna go ahead and share it like that. If I go ahead and hit slideshow, can everyone see the full screen?
Let me see. Okay, you're on stage. It's on stage now.
Fantastic. Great. Yeah. So just a little bit of background of what we do here at Scribe. We are a creative agency that work with a lot of crypto folks in the creative industry at large. So we do a number of different things, and we work with a lot of great clients. This is just a quick snapshot of some of the clients that we do work with, and on a number of different brand initiatives, as well as campaign work as well. You might recognize some of the logos that you were seeing on screen here. And what we do support them with is brand strategy, creative production work, PR, as well as digital. Now, digital could be something that's very broad, and this is any way that we can support our clients from a marketing initiative in the digital sense. So this could be web work as well as social, but anything on the digital side of things. We have a number of different departments that do come together to support a number of different clients in many different ways, different facets of what they are looking for. So we often, when we do come across a client that has a problem that they'd like us to help them solve, we offer our expertise, not necessarily what they're asking for, but how can we use the facets of what we offer to the industry to give them the best solution that can help them out. Often at times what we do and what we notice, especially in the crypto industry, is that we're kind of stuck in the sea of sameness. I think that we've often seen this, especially as things continue to evolve. A lot of brands are breaking free from that. And we try to help a lot of clients make themselves stand out and look different from everybody else. We could see that often happen with a lot of the way they speak about their projects. They're promoting it in the exact same way, with the exact same tweets, with the exact same hashtags. This often comes to life with the same memes as well, using Pepe to kind of amp up whatever they have to share with their audience, and talking and leveraging Pepe in the very, very same way that a lot of brands often do. Nothing wrong with Pepe. I think we all love Pepe, but often at times it does get very repetitive, and seeing it in the same ways is not the best way to pump up your project. Which does lead a lot of folks that do look the same as other brands, whether they be doing the same thing or just looking exactly the same as well. Even using a lot of the same words. We do find that, and I'm sure that we've all come across a lot of this, especially on Twitter, when we are looking to invest some time into learning about a new project or a new institution or a new brand that is on the scene. We're seeing interoperability, real world use cases, maybe modular. These are all words that are being thrown around to describe somewhat the same thing. And we try to help our clients kind of narrow in on what they are trying to do and stand out and be unique within the market. And often at times what we do see is that these programs that are being put together don't always work for everybody. The results could be very good looking, but what we try to do is avoid the whole cut and paste approach. We build a program that is catered to them and really fits what they are trying to do, and we know that not all sizes will fit all. And we also know that people aren't necessarily inspired by words like decentralized or scalable or interoperability. Even devs are not necessarily inspired by or moved by these words. We know that they are moved by things that drive some emotion, like joy, fear, hope, sadness, even laughter. And that even applies to the devs as well. So through this, we try to create and create something that has a lot of impact and what we like to say adds that spark that a lot of brands do need. And again, the well-rounded programs that we are able to offer to a lot of clients do go across a number of different channels and do have a number of different very unique use cases that we are able to offer. And we build very, very unique programs as a result. So just taking you through some of the offerings that we do have, and I don't want to bog everyone down with my presentation here, but a lot of what we do offer the clients from a lot of these programs is some brand DNA work. So whether it's an origin story or maybe helping a lot of brands develop a mission or vision statement or help them establish some of their brand values or it makes them stand out, we often help build and generate some of this that could be associated and tied back with a visual approach as well. Oftentimes this leads out to a visual ID or even a brand guideline that helps kind of set the guardrails, but also gives a bit of a visual tone and also helps them establish what they not only look like, but what are the rules involved in building this and extending this a lot further just from that initial look and feel. What does a visual system look like, but what does a motion system look like? Maybe even photography. What does supporting graphics look like? And what does all of the application execution look like when all of these ingredients do come together? And this often leads into a number of different campaigns, whether it is something very unique that they're trying to bring to the audience. We help them develop and establish a bit of a strategy around this with some key messaging, some creative looks and feels, as well as some tactical ways to go about it. This often has a lot of in-person executions or even activations, as well as developing very unique content that speaks to what this campaign could be trying to communicate to the audience. And of course, a lot of the implementation assets and having everything that is ready to go, logos, type kits as well, maybe even pulling together some social assets that will help them get started and help them extend and build out a starting point that will then help them evolve what they are offering or at least bring to the table as far as a marketing kit is concerned. And obviously this is something that leads into some future application as well. And we can help them develop a lot of these elements as well, whether or not it's them starting from scratch and maybe they just need the bare bones of what the tone of the brand is, maybe even how we speak about the brand, but building on that and extending it further to websites, some social strategy as well as social assets, illustrations that help them speak to a very unique maybe look and feel of what they're trying to establish, even photo shoots as well. So I'm going to fast forward. I actually have some great stuff here that I wanted to take you through that is our a little bit of a look at what we are able to deliver our clients. And we have a little bit of a reel here that I'm going to play. And please let me know if you're able to hear the audio.
Yep.
Joining me now to talk about this and the influence that SBF's downfall has had on Washington is Ari Redberg. He's the host of Legal Affairs at TRM.
The SEC clearly lost as a matter of law, and the judge wrote, XRP is not a security.
Fred, I mean, you increased your Bitcoin production by 172%. You've been on before and you've had great numbers. Are you just hiring more brilliant coders and people who mine these things? It's incredible.
Our merchants using the stablecoin USDC has been a long time in the planning and really isn't about the market.
We've got Adam Dell with us right now. You certainly know his brother, Michael Dell, but Adam has been a financial rock star in his own right.
I think that blockchains are generally built to be very secure, and they're built to resist adversaries.
Jason Yanowitz, who is the Blockworks co-founder. Jason, thanks for joining us in studio.
Right, good to be here.
There's ever a liquidity crunch or $10 billion that are trying to be instantly redeemed, Tether has the wherewithal to redeem it.
Solana is the cheapest and one of the fastest networks out there, and USDC and Solana is my favorite version of the US dollar.
DeepSeek is a testament to success of open source and a testament to it being future.
You do come from a TradFi background. You're in the crypto world now. What exactly are you drawing in terms of parallels between what we're seeing at SVB and also those at Silvergate?
What's interesting is in the last few months, we've sort of oscillated and prices have remained relatively
Kevin,
stable.
I'm a bit puzzled where this is going to.
27 countries came.
So I do apologize. This is our PR, Sir PR, and I'm actually actively looking for the my reel that we do have for our creative work.
Okay, so maybe let's pause for a second. If you can join us for like
Sure.
15, 20 more minutes. We also have Paulo that was set up to share a bit or introduce himself as a designer. And so I'm going to remove your screen. Actually, I'm going to remove it already because we could see your Gmail. And so I'm going to add Paulo because I know he has some time limitations. Is that okay? Okay, I'm also going to mute you, Kevin, because you have a lot of background noise.
My lord.
Okay, Paulo, are you still with us? Are you still okay to present something or just talk to us a bit in like 5 minutes?
Maybe less.
Okay.
I'm a bit embarrassed now that I've seen Kevin's beginning of the presentation. I don't have anything to present, only a couple of but yeah, Lucas knows me. He knows I am mostly a Web2 designer and currently working on Web2, not really Web3, even though I have helped him with a couple of visual assets. But my work is mainly on Web2 right now. And I used to be a UX UI graphic designer, as it's still on my LinkedIn, but right now I'm working mostly as an image and video editor with the assistance of AI. So I've kind of branched into AI right now. I'm working almost full time on a US company. I will not be sharing a lot of information about that since it's kind of in sneak mode.
Off topic a bit, but
a little bit off topic also. Yeah. But it's I'm actually a little bit sad not to be able to be here for the whole presentation because I was really enjoying Kevin's presentation, and I'm sure he will have a lot more to share with everyone here, especially in regards to design in Web3, since that's what this is all about. But yeah, I'm sure everyone else here, the developers and the other people not really in the design field will benefit from that knowledge.
Okay, Paulo, I'm sorry that we gave you such a small slot, but yeah, these live streams are always tricky. There's a lot going back and forth, but I'd be very curious to see more of your portfolio in future sessions. And we've also explored. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but on the last call, we went over everything we've explored in previous calls, and AI and design was one of them. Using AI for application development is something that we probably touched on this one in other sessions. So if you could bring us a bit more about that part of AI for, let's say, generating videos or any kind of materials for companies, that would be really great.
Okay, yeah. I maybe can develop that in a later call. But right now, what I can say is that AI, I think, regardless of the area that you've been working on in the last few years, AI will kind of be a big help to you in assisting you with maybe routine work.
You mean like apart from the creative work, or?
Yes, apart from the creative work, it will actually it will make your. I think it will make your time more valuable in the way that you can dedicate more time to visual and creative efforts, and AI can assist you in creating and assist you in boring day-to-day tasks, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's like having your own personal assistant.
Okay, and probably there's like in that all the work of campaigning and all that, probably AI can help as well. So I'm not sure, Kevin, if you guys started using this as well, or you're gonna have to unmute. Sorry, mate. I'm not sure if you have a handle on the. There you go. I've done it.
Yep.
I can hear you.
I hear a bit of an echo here, but I'll battle through it. I missed that point there. Are we talking about AI and how to leverage it for campaigns?
Paulo is working on AI-generated video mostly, but he was also saying that AI can also be generated to manage, can be used to manage day-to-day, let's say, menial work. And I was relating that with campaign management, for example. Are you guys doing that kind of stuff?
So a lot of the times when we are leveraging, I do apologize. Like, is there a way to stop the echo?
I can't think of one, but we can still understand.
What I'll do is I'll talk, but I'm going to go ahead and mute it so I can't hear it. But you can still hear me, right?
Yes.
When it comes to AI, we do leverage AI in a number of ways when it does come to how we leverage it for campaigns. What we've been using it, or at least experimenting with lately, is Claude Code and using it for some web work. We've been exploring it internally, but something that we haven't actually brought to real campaigns at this point. We want to do a bit of testing before we do bring that to our clients, but we have been finding very successful in AI, especially for the campaigns themselves. We've been using it to develop dashboards as well through Claude to showcase how engagement has been, some of the numbers involved with a lot of the campaigns, especially if it's maybe even social and PR related. What do those numbers look like? How can they access this really, really quickly and see and digest it in a nice, easy to view fashion? Other than that, I mean, we do use it day to day to explore things as well. A lot of the times, even to create some conceptual work, if it is before we actually jump into it, giving them a good idea of what a concept could look like. And what we've been actually exploring this past week was we've been pulling together a podcast for a client, and you know, when you're looking at the thumbnail to have something very engaging, we don't necessarily know whether or not the trimming of them speaking on screen is the best approach. So we've been taking some of these images, feeding them through AI to then see what it does look like, to have them a little bit more excited, maybe they're sad about what the topic could be, but leveraging in certain ways that do give them a bit of a taste of where things could potentially go. And I hope that is, when it just comes to video, it is something that we haven't necessarily experimented with yet, but would love to hear Paulo's thoughts on how he does kind of jump into things.
Yeah.
Popped up.
Unfortunately, Paulo was just like, he was warning us. He only had like under 5 minutes, like at 30 past the hour, he probably needed to hop. And he was saying, gotta hop off. But he's going to be here on the next call. And what I was sharing just now is like this sort of journey of calls that we've had. There's, let's say, the regular ones that we've been doing every week. And every 5 to, I don't know, we're eventually going to have one of these sort of main event ones where we're going to have Paulo introducing like the video, AI generated video. And maybe you could come by on that one, let's say in a month or something, to discuss a bit more.
Yeah, I'd love to. I think I'd love to be more prepared as well. If there is maybe even some branding case studies I could bring to you and show you how maybe starting points where we began and how we got to the end point, and what some of the assets do look like live.
Yeah. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. While you were presenting, and I'm not sure if you still have more things to present, but I was doing all these notes. Some of them were just like illustrative of your stance, but I have these stickies here that I wanted to go over. Do you want to present something more and then we go over this, or vice versa?
No, I'd love to jump into some of the questions if you do have them. And
Okay, cool. Also, if anyone on the call wants to jump on stage and join the discussion, just let us know on our private chat, and I'll add you to the stage so we can all discuss with Kevin. Okay. And also, if you're watching us on X, there is a Luma calendar that's probably been Luma event. I mean, that was abundantly shared. You can use that to join us on the StreamYard stage. I'm sorry, I was asking people to manage between both, but if we can manage to have just one or two slots free, that's more than enough. So yeah, jumping in. When you mentioned sea of sameness, I was basically making this note. Could it be that you feel that because there's so many projects on crypto that are actually cloned use cases, so it's hard to present yourself in a different manner if you're doing the same as like tens of other people, other projects. Is this how you feel? Or like just a word of context here. 45B is more focused on Web3, not DeFi, so non-financial use cases. And I usually struggle to promote what we do as education space, turning outwards, not so much this design center that we're spinning up, because everyone associates anything crypto with yield and stake pools and I don't know. How do you feel about all this?
yeah, I do think that a lot of the sea of sameness comes from the sheer volume of projects that came all at the same time. And I think that I guess the momentum within the space is just a lot of people that are bringing something to the market at very unique times, or maybe at this same exact time, when the market is hot and when we're in a bit of a slump, you see that some of these projects maybe do disappear or die off, and then people aren't really coming together with some new stuff to the market. I think the sea of sameness is often seen, and I think that you're right that maybe if it is a specific project that there's not really too many comparables, and if it is a very, very unique look, maybe people are just seeing what is out there. They're comparing themselves against maybe the unique set that they have within their competitive set, and they're like, what does this look like, and how do we make it look the way that's expected, and we attract the right people for it. So this is very common now. Right, contrast is something that is kind of hard to get across, and yeah, I think that if it is maybe decentralized finance and people are going for a look that is maybe just expected, that's often where we do head into this sea of sameness. But how do we help them break free from that? This could be through messaging. Maybe it's telling a very unique story. Maybe it is about the benefits involved and how you could potentially change lives with the finance themselves, or with the unique product and what the offering potentially could be.
Okay. Okay. That's insightful, and I feel like you've been articulating a lot with the crypto side of things and with a lot of projects, but we invite you to stay in the loop here and with what we do. For example, in our Web3 onboarding venture, we mostly just focus on real world use cases like digital books and things like those. Yeah, something like digital proof of ownership of land even could impact lives a lot more, I think, than 2% yield on your small bag or something. So yeah. Also, I noticed it's quite impressive. Like Paulo was saying, he was a bit shy to present after you because you have all this. And this happens with scale. You have a big team, you have probably fairly big budgets. So I wanted to ask you, for the projects that are more like almost grassroots on Cardano, what's your entry level that makes it worth for people to start articulating with you?
Are we talking price point?
Not literally numbers, but in terms of, okay, how is the project matured? How is the budget as well? But especially like team and idea maturation. We at 45B focus a lot on product, so maturation of use cases and even a bit to go to market, but also USP, So I'm not sure how much we overlap with you in that aspect.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm answering this incorrectly, but we don't shy away from any projects at all, depending on the maturity of the project itself. We want to work with good people. Often at times, we like to meet with them a few times to make sure that we're a good fit. It never is about where the project is at that stage. Understandably, in the world of crypto, there often at times are bad actors in the space, and we try to, through a lot of the Q&A, a lot of times that we are meeting, we try to assess it accordingly to make sure that we are a good fit. And it is something that we can help them pull off. And if we don't think it's a good fit, we can also provide maybe a better partner for the mix. But often at times, because we have so many departments here, whether that be creative, whether it be branding, social support, or even PR, we usually are able to find the team that is able to support, and we can usually help prepare a package that can get them to their goals. But it is ultimately about what they are trying to achieve. And oftentimes we'll meet people that are just like, oh, we want 10K followers on our Twitter by the end of next week, so we can announce our mainnet. And whether or not it's something that is tangible, and when it is, I mean, connected to something that we don't know is even achievable based on the timeline, or whether it is 10K followers, we'll usually have that conversation and let them know it is feasible. If it isn't something that we can meet, we'll offer some suggestions on what the solutions could look like.
So yeah, a bit of initial discussions is always going to be good to have, right? In terms of when in doubt, reach out to you and see how things could work out. Define goals is very interesting because between usability, let's say, or like I was talking about, a unique selling proposition, making sure you have an app that's going to add value to the market and stand out from the others. That I think is a prerequisite almost, and it's interesting to see that if someone gets to you and they still don't have that, you're probably going to have trouble promoting it. So iteration may be required, I would say. So that covers a bit my stickies about asking a bootstrapping stage, and like here, for example, I was meaning to ask you more about what if someone gets to you, reaches out to you, and is really just asking you to go for a campaign. If they don't want to change their product, if they don't want to change their visual identity, and they're just asking you to do the campaign, how would you feel about that?
Yeah, often at times this does happen where clients come in, they're like, we have a well-established brand, or at least they perceive it to be a well-established brand, and maybe they have a huge following, maybe even limited following, and they're like, we don't want to alienate anybody, we don't want to change any of the look and feel of what we are pulling together here. We just want a campaign that speaks to maybe a new feature that we have, or maybe something that we are offering in the market that might be brand new. We can work with that, and we can help them do a bit of digging on what maybe this could look like. We don't necessarily have to walk away from the visual look, feel, or tone of the brand. Often we can work with them. This often requires a bit of an audit of what they do have at this point. Sometimes they have a very bare bones, maybe visual design system, or even very limited in what they have in resources and how they can kind of package this stuff and create some very impactful and eye-catching messages. We can help them do that audit and kind of highlight some of those elements that make them unique, and maybe even suggest other elements that could be unique to the campaign, but still look like they're in close relationship to the way that the brand already has been kind of established. So, and this is very common. People don't necessarily want to reinvent the wheel or maybe revisit what they've already spent a lot of time building on. They just want help with some messaging, or maybe even having developing an in-person activation, or maybe even showing up at an event and standing out a little bit or meeting the people that they need to meet. We can typically help them strategize and build in that area.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'd be curious to see how that would unravel with some of the projects that we are networking with here and zooming out even further. The goal of this whole project, like I keep saying, the project is based on knowledge center and calls and interventions, but the main goal is to have people networking between designers and project owners, let's say, to have project owners networking between themselves. Is something that we touched on in the beginning of the call, where if they don't have the budget to go to agencies, they could help each other and get to a certain level. So yeah, this is just to say that after hearing you, I would be curious to see how some of these projects would, let's say, get along with you, even if it's just a quick call, quick orientation, and let's iterate on it and come back when they have more budget or more of a matured product, something like that. So thank you so much for everything you shared, Kevin. I just wanted to touch on very, very briefly that I know that you guys were poked by CF to do a brand extension on Cardano. Maybe that's not your account, let's say, but are you able to tell us a bit how, so for example, you mentioned future applications of the designs that you work on. And for me, this sort of connects with, here you're working on the brand, the Cardano brand, so Cardano.org, let's say, not necessarily CF or anything like that. But one thing that I mentioned in this growth and marketing committee call where 16 was that it is a huge opportunity to relate the Cardano brand with Cardano projects. So I'm not sure how you view this statement, but I would be curious to poke your brains on it. Is it feasible to have some kind of connection point?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, great. Because I muted you just because I was getting the background noise. But yeah, it's a very interesting thought, a very interesting approach, and something that we can consider when we are going through the brand extension and the exercise for Cardano itself. We have been, and something that we have been looking at, especially as we are approaching the project is, and I'm sure a lot of people on the call could even speak to this as well, that these ecosystem projects, depending on what chain they are living on, they sometimes follow a look and feel. I'd say that one of the best examples would be something like Solana. When you look at Solana projects, they often follow a look and feel. Some of them have some very, whether it be through the color application or even the way that the illustrations are coming to life, they do have a look and feel to them that is fairly unique, and they actually kind of associate themselves with the larger ecosystem. And something that we have been thinking about, whether or not, and something we are still actively looking at as we are going through the brand exercise, whether or not there is a way that we can kind of tailor these things that would have a lot of Cardano projects follow the same look and feel. I think that that's a great way to have things kind of come to life within the ecosystem. And I think that it shouldn't be very hard, especially as you are establishing the bones of Cardano.org. I mean, there could be a very unique set of things that could be adopted from larger projects as they do start to evolve. But as they're marketing themselves, and you touched upon this as well, whether or not folks that are in this their bootstrap phase and they're going through the project and they don't know where they're heading, I wouldn't say that they have to wait until they're at a stage where they have funding or they have a bunch of money that they should be talking to us. I think we're open to talking and chatting about projects all the time and spotting opportunities to even coach them through maybe what the brand exercise could look like if they aren't approaching that, or how they should be approaching that. Something that we're always open to chatting about on our side. I did jump around a little bit there, but if you want to
that's
to you, just let me know if I was
That's
off
fine.
base there.
It's good, and to be clear, I wasn't saying let's use like the same colors or the same font and all that, but you know, the kind of thing, like let's use curves, let's use, I don't know, different similarities could help bridge things. And obviously projects could do that on their own, but if you extend this kind of extended styles guide, that could be great, you know. We have Tevo, who mentioned he could add something on this topic or on Script 3 overall.
Yeah, at the beginning I had a question about like how is your IP like strategized, or like how much is available before, because now we're in this new age of AI basically doing a lot of work. I might previously have been like a product manager, but I never done full stack. But now I'm like, okay, every week there is a new product, go. And it's more like a prototyping, so I don't put that much effort into design. It's just like, okay, out of the box, it looks great. It has the functionality, people can use it. And that has been like my goal. But now looking back, I'm like, I recognize that the issues that are coming from is that people are different, how they're looking for stuff in the websites. And I'm wondering, like, do I have to cater to every single user, or there are some like standards? And now basically I'm spending now time a bit of like building a portfolio of what kind of frameworks or design structures I should even like use. And we have this already, Lucas started to like question yourself, and I kind of was able to put some of the mental map together. Like, okay, you have the IP in yourself and you provide onboarding guidances, but you never kind of really show how it's done, and it's like more a sell product. So I wonder, where like grassroots communities, okay, maybe if we do come in, where do we come in order to learn the roadmap? Or are there any sources yourself would reference, like, hey, yeah, these people are having great open source stuff, you can start from there. So people will have that like a starting point where they can already establish their guidelines, branding, and like some kind of scaffolding before they turn into the agent. Okay, here is how we're doing it right now. These are the strategies we're using. Where do you sit, where you can help us like scale or amplify in some areas?
That was a long
question. A lot of things
Sable.
again I say.
Yeah, I think I could speak to it a little bit. Now, when it comes to the UX and the UI stuff, I don't know if I can speak to that. But when it does come to maybe a starting point and being able to develop and build upon maybe some standards in user experience, there's a huge Figma community, and I'm not sure if maybe this is heading down a direction that might be a bit too design oriented. But there's often a lot of community resources that are available in Figma that you can actually leverage. I know the look and feel of it, even the experience on how things are being built out. I think that there's a lot of great stuff that you can leverage from the community, whether it be how a wallet connects, or even if it's just to have a look and feel of how the user experience could come to life. And maybe I'll hand it back to you, Tivo. Is there maybe a specific challenge that you are going through right now with your project that you're wondering on how it should come to life?
Well, I guess right now my challenge is more technical, in a sense that I'm trying to, because I'm creating multiple products every week, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that was great animation effect that guided people to click the right thing or read about right stuff. But then I'm asking the agent to, hey, now implement that same guideline structure, same color coding and animation to this product. It's failing to do that because I don't have like the root logic how we should work on different websites or like different applications. So that's like a technical side of how to re-implement already working like behavioral patterns and like modularize them across products, it always feels like I have to start from scratch to redesign and pull the product, like the required thing. And another, I guess, issue, I don't know, like for now this is like has been the main thing because I'm like so much in that space of just constantly building. But yeah, there have been some design issues that what announcement made, because you're talking about how do you get engagement. This always has been like A and B testing, basically. I have no clue if it's work and if it's not. So it's like, and even if I get responses now, I have statistical, okay, they didn't respond, they clicked this button, they clicked that button. I still don't know what does that mean, in a sense that like, okay, sure, now 5 people responded this. Was this because the time or the date or the messaging or the focus area? And so it's, yeah, that is a bit more harder to kind of grasp, but I don't think I need that information yet.
I do apologize. I got disconnected for a little bit there, but it does seem like what you're mentioning is that the A/B testing or even discovering what is successful is probably the biggest challenge here. One thing, and again, I'm probably not the best person to ask about this. One thing that I found beneficial, especially with a lot of products that I use, is having a bit of an onboarding guide. Like, I'm not sure if it's able to you have this onboarding guide that shows up at first, that shows where to get started, what the many things that you could be leveraging within the product could be. But I think that we need a little more context of what you're working on in order to offer some of the very specifics there to help you out.
Yeah, well, right now I particularly talked about a coordination manager, which is basically has an ability to distribute messages across different networks and like plan meetings and calendars together. I have put them on the side. Actually, Lucas was the one who created this task for me to create like the tutorial or onboarding kind for every single user, like flow, so that they don't actually interact with the application yet, but they kind of get the idea of what it will do if they would. But yeah, the other challenge, what I was previously talking about, was more like, because I mentioned 2 things. One is how do I implement same functionality from one product to another with agent abilities, and maybe this is not an area even you're working on, because that's like replicating UI, UX to ever new like products while not losing the quality when you scratch a new one. And the second one was, when you invite people to events or share updates to them, how do I test or kind of qualify my learnings that this worked or not, because it's so dependent on situation. So it's not almost impossible for me to measure, and it almost feels like it doesn't matter what I say. It just depends who gets that message and when they get that message.
Sorry to jump in, guys. I'm making notes of your exchange of questions and ideas. Probably I'm going to add more asynchronously after reviewing the call, but I wanted to ask, because I feel like what Tevo is asking brought Kevin a lot from the UI and the visual identity of a company to the UX, to the click tracking and product rethinking or reporting under that light. Is this something that you guys do, Kevin? Like going in an app and seeing all the screens and all that? Or are you focusing more on the UI and visual identity?
Yeah, we don't typically deal with the product A/B testing or anything like that. We do a lot of the brand exercise front end. We could support on areas where branding could be very uniquely applied throughout the product, but not necessarily the experience within the product itself. Now, if it was for web, maybe even just a website, that's where we'd be able to offer some of our expertise there.
Okay.
But not necessarily product.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's something that we've explored in our calls, that as we are onboarding Paulo and other professionals, it's tricky to give them some I'm not going to say literacy, but visual culture of what happens in this space. And we've also touched on that. Sometimes we want to give them that visual identity or culture to inspire from, and other times we may want to use that to move away from, because you want to distinguish yourself from the hype and the neon purple things in crypto. So yeah. Okay, I think we're going to zoom out a bit. We're already like 1 hour in, and we had some more discussions here to have with the application builders. So we have Simon and Rafael, Stevo.
I have one more question, if I may.
Yes.
Kevin,
Please.
which is, are you still working? Are you working again with the GMC this year, trying to do some branding for Cardano? Stripe.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So last year I was working with JB with the GMC we put forward a proposal to do branding for Cardano itself. Is that still something you guys are doing? Are you still working with the GMC?
Yeah, we're doing an exercise right now with Cardano. I know there's someone you're speaking about specifically, but yes, we are going through an exercise right now. Now we have a lot of good stuff that we are cooking up. I'm not sure how much of it I can share at this point with this audience, but a lot of great stuff that we have been exploring. We are currently doing.
Oh no, Kevin's cutting out.
Yeah, I was afraid it was me. Someone is censoring him.
Oh,
Maybe
he couldn't say much more anyway, it seems.
Yeah.
But they're working on it. That's great. I think they would do a phenomenal job for that. I was working with them last year, and they helped us with the budget. It was really
Yeah.
nice. Nice work.
Sorry, I was disconnected there. Didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Simon.
I was just talking a little bit about last year. You guys did really good work with the GMC, I believe. Giving you some deserved praise.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I think I got cut off while I was talking there. We are going through an exercise right now for the Cardano team, something that we are exploring. And I was mentioning, I'm not sure how much you heard of it. I don't know how much of it I can share in this audience, but I'll definitely speak with the team to see at what level we can bring this to everybody, and there's some of what we're cooking up. But right now we're going through the battle testing phase to make sure that it is something that is completely scalable, something that does have all the working parts that many different facets of the community, but also the Cardano team can leverage for a number of different marketing initiatives. But yeah, something I'm hoping that we can share soon. I'm not sure if that's something I can bring to this call yet. I'll have to talk to the team to see where we're limited to sharing. But excited to share nonetheless. Thank you so much.
Since we were discussing that you're going to be potentially coming to our future live stream, like in a month or more, we can iterate on that. So I'm just going to share my screen again, and I'm perfectly at ease to improvise and change things up a bit. But the goal of today's call would be that we firstly look at it from the designer's side a bit, and then we spend a fair bit as well looking at it from the projects building. What are their needs? This actually was written down by Sedan Labs, who sent us a testimonial. So what are you currently thinking about in terms of UI UX? What are your troubles? Challenges that you're facing, and again, Kevin, this is more like from a developer point of view. We're going to see Neil's testimonial, and I'm just going to ask you to mute if you're not talking, please, Kevin.
I am muted. I'm not sure why you can still hear me.
But I think you have two devices. Yeah, I'm going to mute you for now, but please jump in at any point. There we go. I think he's juggling 2 devices, and the other one is unmuted but doesn't have sound. Okay, so yeah,
It looks
guys.
like you kicked him out.
No, he's still here. I didn't kick him out. He's just on 2 devices or something. Yeah, we're all learning. That's why we like to use these kinds of platforms. By the way, if you're watching us on X, I see there's up to 32 people, which is great turnover from other initiatives that we've been doing, like just Web3 or something like that. So it's great to see community looking at what we're bringing to the screen. And I invite you to follow us, to keep in touch. The simple link is just links.45b.io. You have all our socials there. And yeah, if you like, it would be great to have you on our weekly calls where we don't have these many guests and things like those. Sometimes they become just one-on-one reviews of these kinds of problems that you may be having. And also we do other things that, as you can see in links.45b.io, like Web3 onboarding for non-technical people, that kind of stuff. So yeah, all that said, coming back to what we have on screen, I'm just going to simplify this side of the call today. I can still invite anyone who wants to join us on Miro. So if you follow that link, you should get there. And you can also take one of these slots. So Sedan Labs, I did it for them because they sent us a video that we're going to watch. And if you want to share more, please drop any thoughts for today's call here, or on the board, like on the bigger side of our board for all our calls. We also have a lot of input here from Solidity and from other builders on the space. Hopefully we'll keep in touch with Andamio as well. And there's a lot here about different designers that we want to continue growing in terms of a database of people to build with. Today I added script 3, but we want to add many more as time progresses. So I'm just going to reshare my screen so I can have audio on Sedan Labs testimonial. And bear with me a second.
Doing an audio test now.
Okay. Yeah, we can still hear you.
Twice. You can hear me. It's a lot better.
Yes, it has less background noise.
My goodness, I do apologize. You guys were listening to every single thing that was going on in the background here.
Maybe it was like a microphone further from you or something.
No idea.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so this is Neil from Sedan Labs. They've done Delta DeFi, as you can see on screen there, and they've done CGov, which is a very important governance tool nowadays. I'm just gonna press play on this. I think the audio should be okay.
No, the audio.
No? Oh, sorry. What have I done wrong? I'm gonna stop sharing, share again. There we go.
Sedan Lab DeFi. So thanks for having me.
One second.
Hi everyone, this is Neil, the founder of Sedan Lab DeFi. So thanks for having me, Lucas, for sharing the UI/UX topic today from a Cardano builder perspective. For UI and UX, for me, is kind of like tooling to help your project to get success. So the first one is about the UI. So UI is quite tricky because it's quite subjective, right? So one thing you have to do on UI is like you have to define whether the UI play an important role in this project. Let's say you are working on an NFT or gaming or some like more interact with the users. That at that time the UI is more important, I would say, because like you have to attach people, have to get more attention from them. So this is from my perspective. If you are building a very complicated DeFi project, let's say DeFi, our project is one of the good example at Trading Desk. So you don't have to show any very complicated any flow for the user. The users just feel like they're using a web tool application, that should be fine. And also we allow the people to check if they want to know more about the detail, especially for the technical person. They want to know whether you really are building a Web3 project. So we allow them to check the detail. This is from our perspective. You have to make sure the user easier to use it and without any barrier. Basically, from my perspective, UI and UX is quite different in terms of what project you are working on. Thank you.
Okay, so that was quite packed. I made some notes on the Miro board. I'm going to go back to sharing that. Meanwhile, I see some of you are mentioning editing the Miro board. I'm happy to grant the edit permissions, but I still need to circle between different windows. So maybe when I have a moment, I can look into that. Just make sure, please, that you have requested edit. It should be on the top right corner of your window. Okay, so coming back here. Yeah, in short, the notes I made about Sedan's testimonial was that UI UX are tools that can really boost your project's success. UI takes more importance as your application is more interactive. So for some static type of things, probably it's not going to make that much of a difference, but it as it becomes more interactive and complex, that it really needs to flow and be clear to the user. Also, for Delta DeFi, they say they basically simplified everything and almost saw it as a Web 2 application to keep things palatable and relatable for the users. For me, it reminds me a bit about centralized exchanges. And also, this is something that I love. I usually call this being technically transparent. We can think of eJournal, for example, or other applications in the space that I think we can argue have this kind of feature. Some others just opt to be user-friendly and just have some tooltips, and that's okay too if you're more veered to the simple user, let's say. But I feel like this really helps connect and leave a connection point again for users to upgrade themselves into being advanced users, or even being more participative in the community, in understanding the technologies that they're using. Any feedback about all this, guys? I know all of you have been going through this kind of maturation stage. So, Rafael, maybe I know that you went through some iteration on your app. Does this how did you approach these kinds of decisions? Not sure if you can.
Yeah, I can talk. Yeah, I mean, we even have now a new version from the second prototype. So we are still iterating, and we are working a lot with the customers we want to have using our app and getting their feedback. And that's how we are iterating to try to make it as simple and user-friendly as possible. I would say that, yeah, at the end of the day, making it as simple as intuitive is super important. Even if you have documentation and things like that, people don't like to leave the app to go there. You're breaking their flow, and that's not what you want. And the challenge is how, especially for some applications like the one we're building, is we give a lot of power to the user, but then we need to figure it out. How can we present this power in a way that they can understand, they can use, that it doesn't become overwhelming? And that is sometimes the challenge, right? Is to organize your user experience in that way. Another thing I would say is really important is the initial first-time experience that the customer has with your application. This is something that is really important, and that I don't think is yet at a good level in Web3, because when they're using it for the first time, there is a little bit they need to learn. They need to get the basics, be able to go to where they need to get some value and be hooked to keep using it, and that sometimes is a bit challenging. And we're trying to see if we can make that happen, because after it's really simple for users once they understand. We've been able to reach that level, but then the first onboarding, I think we still need to make it better so they can understand quickly what they need to do and maybe be educated while using the solution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's very important because the seriousness of your app, it's like usually people use the expression "set it and forget it," right? And your app is a great example of that, where someone is going to know about it, understand it, set it up, and then probably just leave it, but needs to be assured, or it's very important that the person really understood what they set up, correct? So otherwise, in IT, we usually go back and do key rotation or test things. The private user that is doing like their vault, or I'm not sure how you call it in GenWealth, if they set it up incorrectly, if they didn't leave the right contacts or something like that, it's going to bite them eventually. So yeah, thanks for sharing a bit. I'm not sure if anyone else wants to add something. Just zooming out and coming back to these kinds of questions.
I can mention like a feedback loop put into the application is a super great thing, because then you get to kind of experience live time when somebody is saying in support. And when I'm playing around with Dev, I even see sometimes pop up, hey, somebody has issue there. And now with agent capabilities, I could literally hook it up to automatically fix it while it's already still doing something on the site. So this is like a perfect place for, I guess, prototyping. I don't later stage, it's just important, I guess, to support to be there, because it puts this reliance or resilience, or in a sense that people trust, okay, there is somebody behind the application that is able to help me, and it's just not like a standalone service.
Yeah. Thanks. That's really important to add, Tevo. I'm not sure if you want to share a bit about your application as well. Any screens,
I put
any
it
links?
into the chat and I asked the request, but I haven't. But yeah, you can put any product.
Okay. Okay. So are we calling it Coordination Manager, or?
Yeah. Now it's official in a sense. Like, that was so hard to find a name, and I was like, okay, I'm competing with like names that don't speak anything for me, and it's so hard to choose. And even if I get SEO top 1, nobody uses Google Shares to do this anymore. Now everybody uses agent, and the whole point of this application is kind of to start to see messages. They get to that website anyway, so I don't think anybody ever needs to like SEO this stuff up.
Okay. I'm not sure.
That was like a huge discussion what an app should be, and that was like a final decision. I don't know what Kevin thinks of that, because name of a URL or a branding is very important. I don't know if you have any.
I was going to
but
ask,
they didn't have any. Like,
when it does come to the name, what drove the decision to get to Coordination Manager? Obviously, it's very straightforward. It's somewhat basic. Was there any anything driving the decision there? Was it the URL itself that the .com was available, or was there anything else that kind of drove you to say, you know what, Coordination Manager is where we're going?
Well, the thing is, I'm more like an ERP guy, enterprise resource planning tools, and built like years tooling for these systems. And now when I'm building, like, I have now a new ability to build applications for community members. And we had an issue of like, okay, we have multiple Google accounts and multiple places where we want to share our calendars and integrate everybody. So like, to me, it was like, okay, it's like coordination, and usually every operation stuff, I put like manager behind it, treasury manager, coordination manager, process manager. And that was like just one part of it. Maybe eventually if the thing like, yeah, is turning into an ERP, but yeah, that is where like the source came from. I did spend multiple sessions and like talk to people what it could. and I didn't get like any research or like a good wording of what would be a shorter name and what would like match SEO. And finally I was like, yeah, maybe it doesn't even really matter in this new day and age what the URL, as long as people kind of see the URL and kind of gets what it tries to say.
Yeah, and I think that as you continue to build up the product and you continue to onboard people and a lot more people start using it, that down the road you might establish or maybe discover other keywords that you can lean into, maybe even like little buzzwords that people are. So I think I'm not sure who your direct competitors would be on this front, or if you were comparing yourself to anybody else.
Oh yeah, like I have so many competitors, but
Yeah.
the problem is that like all of these Google Workspace or Doodles or everything that does the same thing, they have a price point. And I guess right now I have even though it's gonna get me costly, like if 100 people are starting to use it, I will have to put something here because I have it AI agent like included. If you ask anything from the right sidebar, there is this 4 application buttons, or if you find any AI buttons, it will actually cost me money to do all of the work that this can do. But these are like so negligible right now, so I just keep it free for everybody. And at some point, like, yeah, it is triggering like thousands of like calls to and sending private messages and emails. So I don't know, at some point maybe that this also needs to be more limited. But since it's community tooling and it's not, I don't know how to like market. I did think about making an agent that just goes through Reddit and all the posts that asks about, hey, where is the best place to use a calendar or plan meeting? Then I would do that. But I haven't yet gotten that far because right now most important was functionality is there. So now I kind of moved on to the next thing because yes, it can be used, and these teams who wanted this, they're happy with it. And so I haven't like take it to the next level yet, but I still would be interested to like kind of have like this, because I'm constantly building stuff, to have even like this refresh of new styles or like perfections that worked on one side to bring to another. Lucas, you're browsing around. Are you looking for something specific, or you're muted?
Clicking around for functionality.
Thanks for pointing.
Just making sure all the buttons.
Yeah, I'm just doing some live application testing here, and I'm really happily surprised that I could find my way to creating my own survey of what would be the next, the best day next week to organize the Design Center call number 11. I'm gonna have to explore a bit more, but yeah, congratulations for putting this together, Tivo. This view that we were looking at here as well, with all the communities or several communities and entities on Cardano, this is something that I've been dreaming up. So thanks for making it a reality. Very curious to see how this develops.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to add some kind of workshops or stuff, right now what it's missing is auto sync, so I have to manually kind of sync it. But there is like a way to import. So compared to all the other Cardano tools, there is like you have to manually put stuff there, but this kind of can take the imports.
Okay. Yeah, but you're very like evolved a lot since I last looked at this. So
yes, the event page has changed 2 times. One was from your feedback, and another one was because we didn't have so many meetings, and I didn't know how it will look like if 3 meetings happen at the same time. So I added these filtering options and stuff on the top.
Great stuff. So I added your link here, and I'm not sure we have much more time today. Overall, I'm very pleased with how the call went. The open discussion with Script3, with Kevin, and a bit with Paulo is something that I'm going to continue to try to, facilitate here by inviting more agencies and having Kevin back again. So for now, I'm not sure if anyone that's building on Cardano wants to add anything to these topics here. So what challenges you're facing. You'll notice the yellow things were actions for me to mention to you. So one little game, let's say, we had here was like out of the top of your mind, what are the best and worst UX on Cardano projects. So feel free to add them here when I approve. I understand some of you are still as a viewer here. Sorry about that. Maybe if you want to mention that, we can touch on it very briefly. Any frustrations using Cardano apps or any ones that you want to highlight?
I think the biggest one, except I don't know if Andrea is still working, it's the Game Changer wallet is the only wallet where I can see what it actually does. And like even if I implement the mesh SDK or something on for my websites to have like this kind of trust layer, I don't really actually see what I'm signing. Like, yes, I can put anything on the wallet sign says, and I know what the nonce means, and I know what my application does. But everybody else has integrated wallet in their application. I don't actually know what it does unless I really go to the seaboard level. And I wonder if, how this can be like improved in Cardano in general. Like, is there a new standard needed, or like, how do we trust the transaction? The signature is actually the signature of the transactions that it's saying it is. Because right now we just need to trust the people who are building the application. I'm fine with that, but like getting a random person who is not Cardano or comes from another place, I'm like, I'm not gonna even log in.
So right I'm just curious. This strong point that you're highlighting with Game Changer, does it not happen in Eternal, or is it really like that much better in Game Changer versus Eternal?
Yeah, in Eternal, in base, in others, we don't have it because in the I don't know, it works differently. But what I don't want the Game Changer do is like way too much information, and you will have to know what you see. That's the like downside of this full transparency.
Okay. Yeah, we had Adriano here, and it would be great to bring Game Changer more into our scope of this initiative. Maybe we could give them some feedback. It's something that I've been meaning to do for years, and I always circle between projects and never really did it effectively. But thanks so much for highlighting that. Anyone else? Simon had to drop meanwhile. Yeah, Kevin, that's exactly the link, gamechanger.finance. They've been around for a long time. They've learned, they've improved, and but they still could value a lot of feedback, because in terms of adoption, it's surely not the top one. And it does serve a number of use cases. For example, when I'm teaching Web3 in our Web3 onboarding initiative, we use this one because we can mint your own token there very easily. You drag a JPEG in there and it puts it to IPFS. So it's some things that, a lot, mostly any other wallet isn't doing. So I'm gonna have to close this website for now because it's hogging my CPU. But yeah, guys, I think for now, this was a great hour and a half. I meant to show you a bit about our knowledge base, but it's still like in sort of draft. We're going to continue to improve the syllabus here, or the tree of articles that we're going to unfold. We need to improve the looks, so probably something inspired or learning from this. And there is a link in the Miro board that gives you this document to add anything that you want. One thing that we're going to add in this tree of contents, like I said, is a catalog of designers. So we have Script3, we've been reaching out to Thyme as well. We are also able to do some things, but mostly more from the product angle. And yeah, I'm also going to add here Figma communities, like Kevin was mentioning to Tevo, and it's something that we can explore a bit more. And yeah, let's just fly over this section of today's call for now. So if you don't have anything more to add, I'm gonna just jump to the call to action. So the call to action, if you're still watching us, and again, great to see we have 40 people watching the stream. We have the ticker rolling up top. Just follow links.45b.io. It's just simple link. It's our very ugly link tree that eventually we're going to beautify with a bit of AI and better taste than it currently has. And in there, it's very important that you subscribe to our Luma calendars. So the regular calls happen in the open hours calendar, and these main events like today's are going to be on this one. So it's important that you subscribe to both of them. You can find them in here. You can also see previous calls in this short link, such as design.45b.io/YouTube. You'll get to a playlist. And if you consider applying for an intervention, I can briefly illustrate what those are. So yeah, the structure of our project has these three pillars. We've kept improving them, so the spaces, the portal, and the interventions. And this is what, for now, 45B is veering up to be able to provide in the context of this funded Catalyst proposal. We may help your project with UI UX design, like from a blank canvas. It could be a rework and touching up your looks. And we could also go and interview users for you and give you feedback on how your users are perceiving your application. And then this part touches a bit more on what Script3 was talking about today, the visual identity and communication of your project. So if you consider applying for this, mainly it would be important that you are more in the loop about our project, but there is this form that you can sign up on, and it will have some questions similar, or we have some illustrative ones here. So we're going to ask you a bit about what stage your project is on. Did you do some market research? Do you have funding? What's your business model? And you can describe it a bit further. Value for value approach is a concept that we are sandboxing at 45B. So it has a bit to do with zero barrier to entry to start using your application, and then the user rewards features almost ad hoc. So instead of like a freemium business model, yeah, the typical questions that we want to know about how your project is maturing. And after that, the end questions of our form is going to be, how can we contribute to your project? So that's one of the pillars of what we're here for. And if you're curious, please head out to design.45b.io/signup and fill in the form. Guys, I'm not sure if you want to add anything else. We're losing people because, you know, the call was scheduled to 1 hour. But any final thoughts from you?
So maybe one thought, like one thing what I'm doing with my products is my goal is to make the users use it as little as possible. This means I did my job great. So I wonder how this works for others. Like, did they want more engagement, more usage? And it's like counterintuitive for some.
That's interesting. Yeah. If it's
I know if the user is only like 1 minute in the app and he does something, then I know he's using it correctly because of the functionality matters, not like design or.
If your app is efficient, people aren't going to spend much time on it. They just hop on, get what they're doing, and move on. That's an interesting way to end the call, Tevo. Thank you so much. Kevin, Rafael, everyone that joined us and that are watching us online. Hope to see you around very, very soon. Keep in touch. Okay, bye.